The best way to keep good mindset is keep good people around you. Anything in negative energy,
Good spirits like my mother and father, uncle and auntie.
anything negative, if they're not going to have a positive influence in your life. So,
Do you know what people say to me? You're cuckoo, but I believe like my mother and father and my auntie and uncle who are now dead. My auntie and uncle are dead. I believe that they're all round about me when I believe that.
No,
I believe that.
you know what? You know, in my religion, we call it jinn. Yeah?
Remember,
you know,
in our body, we're just a spirit.
Catholicism, they call it you ghost soul. Maybe what you're going to understand is, like, all of us, it keeps us strong, right? Because we all believe in heaven and hell.
The body's just an outer shell, we're just a spirit.
Yeah. Because obviously, like, in the Bible, in the Quran, and Torah, it says about the seven heavens. So basically, like we call ghosts and jinn, basically the interdimensional souls that are, trapped in me sometimes for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, for all our sakes, I hope there is a heaven and all that, because at the end of the day, you can't be just like bang and we're gone, and if there is, we just gotta live. Like I said, it's no point even dwelling on things because at the end of the day, it's negative. Life's too short to be a pessimist, obviously. Stay positive, be proactive. Whatever you're doing, positive. If you're gonna, it's like that old saying: if you're gonna say anything, only have good things to say. Don't. If you're gonna say something negative, you better not have said it. Like that old saying goes. You know what I mean?
When I lost,
better to say something positive than negative.
When I lost my uncle, my dad's brother, and my auntie, it was a bit to deal with. But I'm not in Glasgow now. That's why I came to England.
I didn't used to get on with my dad. When I said I didn't get on with my dad, the last couple of years I got on with him. I didn't think I was going to take it that bad. But when my dad died, I had severe chest pain for 4 days because of anxiety and stress. And then I had to switch off. I thought, all right, I'm thinking about my dad too much, because obviously you're powerless to do anything. You can't help him. You can't help any family. And I think my poor dad's gone, right? And you know what?
You need to go on with life.
No, because you know what? When you didn't used to get on someone, or you don't get on with someone, you think, you're gonna think about the negative. You know what? Because I've always been a positive person anyway. When he did die, all I thought about is all the loving things he did, all the kind and loving things he did for me. When I fell, I cut myself. It was there. If a car broke down, he was there. Yeah. That's why I say, like, there's two constants in life, with mum and dad. So obviously, like, technically in your case, your uncle and auntie, like,
looked after
yeah. So you're the guardian parent, same thing. You know what I mean? So obviously your mum and dad will absolutely adore him. Hopefully,
I remember them cuddling
your mum
me.
and dad looking after your uncle and auntie now, aren't they?
Well, I remember my mum and dad cuddling me that day, and they said, "We're going to bring you something nice back. Right? Make sure when you come home from school, make sure there's a key for you. Make sure you come home from school."
You know what it reminds me of? You're saying that because you know what, I can rationalise, because you know what, how old was I now? I was 21, right? And one of my cousins from Birmingham, right? And my dad had a restaurant, right? This is when I was like 14, 15, 16, right? So my cousin, right? He's my uncle. He's one of my uncles, my dad's cousins, right? He sent his son, obviously, he's my age, and obviously we've become good friends, you know what I mean? And I was fond of him. When you work with someone and you've had the good laugh at a joke, you fond of them, right? You love them, don't you? You never stop loving people, by the way.
No, you don't. People that are good to you, you don't.
Yeah. No, but even the wrong-uns, you know what I mean? If you've had a laugh at the joke with them, you're fond of them, aren't you? Even for the flaws, because we're all flawed. No one's perfect, right? So
we can't be
anyway,
be nice.
He just got married. You know what I mean? Barely a year ago. His wife was, about 6 months pregnant. And obviously, he got in a car and his mate was driving. Anyway, they've not done anything wrong. They were just on their way to work. And a woman forgot a passport. She was driving 140 miles an hour on the motorway, collided with her, just cleaning his clock out. And you know what traumatised me though? I didn't want to see him like that, but my only regret is I didn't go to his funeral, because I didn't want to see him like that, you see, because people were telling me his teeth was all out. And I didn't want to remember him like that. I could have bear to, but I regret that. I hope he forgives me for not going. But I loved him that much. You know what I mean? Because I loved him like a brother. You know what I mean? When your friends, like if your childhood friend, you might have a childhood friend, and you don't class him as your friend. You like,
class him as brother.
One of my taxi buddies. I've known him for 40 years. Yes, he's our child, right? Childhood friend.
A bit like me.
Yeah. So I don't really class him as just my friend. He's like my brother. So we share each other's, traumas, and how if anyone needs advice and vice versa.
See, people say to me,
and this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help each other, motivate. And what you do, we go on holiday together. You know, if he ever needs advice, he always comes to me and vice versa. But I don't get me wrong, I don't ask for advice much because you know I'm quite an intelligent lad myself. But
Aye.
I'm a very humble person, so
Aye.
I never use it, and I don't think someone's below myself because I mean, he's got masters himself. He's in his own man.
We're all good at we're all good at different things.
Yeah. So you know, we always talk about anything. I can talk about him with anything about him. You know what I mean? And vice versa. When you got someone like that, that's good. And if you got that kind of relationship with your son, we can just talk about anything, and that's brilliant. That's what you're gonna do. You know, like my lads, you know, they want to fight with people.
Because I was an only child. Sometimes the way we got on, he's my son, but sometimes he's like a brother to me as well.
Like only child.
Aye, only child, just like
right.
me.
So you both understand each other because you know you don't have any siblings. When you do have siblings, right? And I'll tell you this, right? You know, when my
I know people say to me,
somebody else pick. You know, we don't get on, right? So a lot of the times, right? But somebody, God forbid, somebody picks a fight with one of my siblings or me. Guess what? My siblings, we're all together. No, they got no chance.
Sometimes I wish I had a sibling to fight with and argue with.
But no, what you're going to stand is like I'm good mates with my lads. I've got 11 to, you know, they're old enough, they're tall enough, you know, what I mean, wise enough, and you know what I can do is pass that knowledge on. You know, my dad passed all that knowledge on. And, you know what I mean? Obviously, I've got a lot of the good things my dad's got, right? And you know, people say all this kind of, you can say you're a very kind person. And I said, you know what? I had a young lad earlier today as well. You know, believe it or not, right? I don't know. I think he must have been in his 20s, and I was telling him when my dad passed away, and he was telling me, oh, his mum passed away, and you know what? I was just saying, you know what? And like I was talking to you, like I said, you know what? You know, if you ever rock bottom, you remember your mum, and I'll keep pictures and videos because they'll remember you. You know, so you don't forget. Yeah.
Right. See these photographs to keep me going. I look at them every day.
And you know, if you ever get really rock bottom or really down about it, talk to you. Don't be afraid to talk to your
But sometimes I wonder if, because I lost my mother and father when I was 12, sometimes I wonder what they would have looked like as they got older.
Well, you know what? I'm like that all the time because you know, there was 5 brothers, right? We all got 3 of us. Two of my brothers died. One was 2.5, and another one was 19 when he passed away, right? And there's not a day that goes by, well, you know, because obviously I come across this kind of stuff probably once a day, at least, you know, once every other day, right? And there's not a day that goes by I don't think about him because I think the older one would be 35, the younger one would be 24. Guess what? There's a lot of kids around now at that age. When I see a kid like that, tears come out of my eyes. I think how my brother would be like. But all I can say is, right, well, I know like this you guys, yeah, you believe in heaven, right? So I'm thinking like, he's looking up there and he's proud of me because of the man I've become, amazing man I've become, and you know, amazing role model I am for my family, my peers, everyone I come across, you know, because this is the kind of person. This is not me being fake. This is genuine, you know. You know, somebody come in my car, they could talk to me about anything. I'm one of them because I'm aware about a lot of different things. I care because that's why not everyone's like that. You see, so I'll have a chat and I don't care about the money because at the end of the day, I do want to earn the money, I want to earn a wage, but at the end of the day, like I said, there's more things. I've done all that kind of 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 18-hour shifts, 19-hour shifts. You know, doing 2 jobs or 1 job, and you know, no amount of money is going to get you that. You know what I mean? You know, human element back again because at the end of the day, we're all human and we owe it to ourselves.
Well, that's why I left Glasgow. I came here to try and forget about everything that's happened in my life when I was young, losing my mother and father. I came here. I wanted to get in a different place where I can try and. But sometimes I think I'd be better off just staying where I was. But
no, because what you're going to stand, right? There's good and bad in everything, right? Every culture, every religion, right? And we're going to stand. The idiots, they're the minority.
Oh, I was getting picked on in Scotland and I was born there.
Yeah. No, well, fair enough. If you get to that point, then that's...
And I just left and came to England.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
Now I'm getting picked on here.
No,
they're saying, oh, Kylie, you're Scottish.
No, you just say you're a bully. Just call him a racist and a bully. That's what I want. I'd tell him that. They're saying this is your Scottish.
See, I'm on my own. I can only...
No, because technically that's a form of racism.
I know.
It's a form of racism.
I know I've talked to housing, but they're not doing nothing.
Like somebody from like a travelling community, or you know, Geordies or Scousers and all that. We all got to learn to love each other and appreciate because at the end of the day, the same God that made the Geordies and Scousers and Asians and blacks and Muslims and Catholics and Jews, guess what? It's the same God.
I
Yeah,
know.
we all pray to the same God.
Well, do you know what?
The same God created the heaven,
I've took the
earth,
housing.
the whole of everything, right?
I've took the
so we've
housing.
got to all respect each other, love each other.
Aye.
That's it. That's the punchline.
I know. Well, I've talked the house and the police about what they're saying to me, okay, I know. But do you know what? I've did it all on my own. I'm on my own in this world. I've got cousins, I've got friends, but I'm on my own in this world. And I can only try and push through on my own.
No, what you're going to stop violence begets violence, right?
Aye.
And I'm not saying that you should humiliate people, but somebody, they call it saying,
I just tell them to grow up,
you're
actually.
Scottish or something like that.
Aye.
You should tell them, right, that they're being racist, because that is a form of racism.
I know,
And
that's
then
why I moved
point
to
it like that,
Eagles
and then
Estate.
make them think. And you said to me, all right, do you have any friends or family that are Irish or Scottish, right? So how would you like it if I quoted where they are from in the world? Yeah, is that acceptable? No, it's not.
Well, I've
yeah?
been here since 2014. I stayed in Holt's Estate up there, Cully Road for 5 years, and I had the neighbour
Well, I
picking
pick
on
people
me.
of all walks of life as being a taxi driver, right? And I appreciate people from all, because I've travelled all over the world, all over the country, right?
Aye.
So, if I meet somebody Scottish or Irish, so I'll have a good chat with you, have a bit of a laugh with you. Cause
I know, but
I've got a lot of Scottish friends.
I just say some people in England are backward.
They are.
They're
But,
backward.
no, because obviously,
Racism.
maybe racism, but sometimes maybe, what you're going to understand in society anyway, a lot of us are inbred, right? Some people have just come too far, you know what I mean?
Aye.
So, not that I'm saying that's a bad thing, but ultimately we're all responsible for our own actions, right? If somebody's an idiot, they're an idiot.
I just ignore them because I'm in England.
Do not justify their idiocy. 'cause
I know,
they're
but you know
idiots.
why? Think about it. I'm Scottish. I'm
but
in
they're being
England,
racist and
surrounded by.
bigoted.
I know, but
They're being racist and
I know,
bigoted,
but
though.
I'm surrounded in England. I'm in a foreign place. I'm surrounded by all these English people, right? And I'm Scottish, born and bred, right?
Yeah, but
And I
well,
try not to.
see, do you know what?
It's hard for me to say something back.
Because I'd say you're bigoted and you're racist, and you tell them, guess what? I'm a Glaswegian and I'm proud of it. Yeah, and I love this country as well. I live here and I love this country as well. So what's your problem? I'm living here.
It's
I
hard
live
to,
here.
but you've got to watch because remember, I'm surrounded in a foreign place. I'm Scottish. I'm living in England. Been here since 2014.
I know, but not everyone's bad.
I know.
It's a minority. So the people.
But think if I answered him back and called him something back, I've not got a leg to stand on.
Best thing to do is not call anyone in names.
I know,
like I
just
said,
ignore
I'm just
them.
saying that. I'm using it as an analogy, but like I said, I'm
not going to let them
I can
chase
do that
me.
kind of stuff. But
Out of the
I
place.
feel you because like I said, I'm from the ethnic minority. I've been racially abused many a time. Yeah, people have. No, to be honest with you, I get on with everyone more or less. You know what I mean? And it's rare when I do. I mean, good life. I think I've been taxing for about 10 years. I've only been racially abused 3 times. So I think I've not done that bad, to be honest with you. But in a nutshell, when I pick somebody up, I break down the boundaries. I have a good chat with them, and then obviously that de-escalates the situation. So then they understand that. All right, okay, you know what? He's actually not a bad lad. He's a nice lad. This lad. Just talking to him. That's what you got to do. Talk to him and say what's your problem. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And if they don't like it, they don't like it. I said, right, if you got anything, don't talk to me because I'm not going to acknowledge your idiocy. That's it.
But see the people that have been nasty to me here. I still say to them, "How are you? How you doing?" I try not to let it get in the way. I don't let it eat away at me.
No, that's what you got to do.
just rise
You
above
rise
it.
above the hate, rise
That's
above
what I
the
do.
base, because at the day, where you going to stand there?
'Cause I'm on my
No,
own
because at the
in this
day,
world.
you're not the one with the problem. They're the one with the problem. Yeah?
I'm on my own in this world. I've just got to try and.
No, because
I've just got to try and.
most of the things you see in society, right, whether it's racism or anti-Semitism, anti-Islam, homophobia, bigotry, all these different types, right, they're created by the people at the top to divide and conquer us. But ultimately, what you can understand is, right, it's not your problem. If you're not being offensive to one and you're not saying anything or scribbling or anything like that, you're not the one with the problem. It's them with the problem there. They've got an issue with you because you're Scottish and you've got Scottish.
Listen,
I said
see
to
if
him,
you're
"Look,
right.
I just turn around and say, I'm Scottish and proud and I live in Oldham. That's it, end of.
Well, do you know what? It doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, yellow, ugly, beautiful. You're not going to win.
No, I would say something.
You'll
to you.
get picked on for any one of them.
I'm going to put some holes in that because at the end of the day, ultimately, we're all winners, right? It's
Aye.
and when I say this, well, you can go and research this, right?
Aye.
5 trillion sperm went on a race and 1 sperm won. That was you, and your son and me. And we all won. We're all winners. So when somebody says you're a loser, I say, all right, I'm a winner, you're a winner, we're all winners, right? And that's it, end of. So at the end, you've got your life, I've got my life.
We're all clever in our own way.
Yeah. No, what you're gonna stand is right.
We're all good at something.
No, because imagine like we were all the P's and Q's. We're all the same, right? Life would be so dull and boring.
I know.
Yeah.
So
No,
we've got to have people,
I always
smart
often
people.
think I love music, right? What would
Aye.
life be without music? Because music
Also
inspires us, makes us sad. I hear a certain song, it takes me back to that certain time in my life, whatever age I was.
I
said
like-
what I was doing at that time.
Because I lost a friend when I was about 30,
Mm.
and when I hear a song, it brings it back to me.
Well, what happened to her, if you don't mind me asking?
She was always getting
Mm.
problem with her kidneys.
Uh,
She was always getting her kidneys in that check. She just passed away.
right, so is that
Kidney
like
failure.
something with the, or was it like sort of blood, or genetic,
She was-
or blood,
she was-
or like,
She needed another kidney.
or was it like some sort of like condition, or was it
A condition.
yeah, because obviously
Kidney
like the young man I picked up
problems.
earlier, she said that her mum suddenly like went to the doctor. He sort of like just said, no, there's nothing wrong with her. He went in. And he tested
She
her.
was
He goes,
always on-
she had cancer. And then she goes,
right.
literally goes, it's terminal. He got 1 month to live, and then obviously she died. And what did he say to this young man? I said to him, you know what? I've got it easy because my dad's like 70 odd, right? He's lived, like, you know, right, and I'm thinking, right, he's gone now. But you've lost your mum at 50. So then 50 is nothing at an age because, you know, I'm 42, 8 years' time, I'm 50, so that's nothing in it.
No, I
People-
lost my mum and dad when I was 12.
No, but I'm saying about this young man I was
right.
talking about earlier tonight.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so basically, you know, we owe it to each other.
He's lost his mum at
yeah.
50.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
lost
yeah,
his mum when he was 50.
Yeah, no, I think she used to be a heavy drinker or something like that. But I don't
right.
know if it was drinking or what caused it. But they're still trying to work it out apparently. But you know, but yeah, there was. I could tell you so many stories. Even the last couple of weeks, people have lost. One woman, she lost her dad because he went for minor keyhole surgery, right? Minor surgery, a Royal Woman, and she lost her mum. What do you say to her? I said, I'm so sorry. And she wanted to take him to court, and I said, well, you know, just sue him for it. She said, but I don't want any money. I said, yeah, it's not about the money, it's about the principle. Sue him. If you get some money for it, give it to charity or give it to someone who's needed. Maybe somebody's son or daughter might need a heart transplant and they need X amount.
Aye.
That's what I'd do. That's what I'd do, honestly. I would actually do that for someone.
Remember the beer
Because
can?
one of my best friends, right? Well, he used to be one of my best friends, but we're good friends, you know what I mean? We're acquaintances more than anything. But his brother, right? I'm going back about 20 odd years ago. His brother was 21 and he had kidney problems, right? So his sister gave him kidney, right? Right. So I'm going back probably about 5 or 6 years ago. But basically, his brother's rejected that kidney. So he needed a kidney. He gave one of his kidney. I said, I commend you on that because I don't know if I'd even give him one of my brothers and sisters' kidney. That would be a lot for me. I love him, but would I give him one of my kidneys? Because I've got babies myself. I might not be able to survive on one kidney. So I commend you on that, yeah? Because he's giving that because do you know what his response was? He said, I don't care if I lose one kidney. I've got one kidney to live off. I can live off one kidney. And secondly, if my brother gets another 7 years, then I'm grateful because I love my brother. And I said, you know what? It shut me down straight away because you know what? Because I think that I'm a very good person, but then when I think about that, I think I'm a selfish prick, really, because
I nearly lost him in 2018. He had a life-saving operation.
oh right,
I nearly lost him in 2018.
Well, bless him, he's still here. You know what I mean?
Aye.
What was it?
It was Crumpsall Hospital. It was something to do
Mm.
with below. And
What
they
you-
had to fix
what you're going to
it.
understand is, right, no matter how bad you've got it, there's always somebody worse off than you. I want to say this, last year, there was a young man I picked up, he's got a driving license, he can't afford a car, so he cycles over. I said to him, all right, young man.
Tell him what you were like, Andy. You woke up one day and you were walking dead slow, you were sore, weren't you?
I was in pain.
You know what, when you were saying that, I picked a young man up was last night, right, yesterday evening, about
They did it.
9-10 o'clock. Was it Thursday night or was it Friday night? Yeah, it was Friday night actually. And she said she'd had a fall somewhere. She didn't tell me what exactly happened, right?
Aye.
And then she carried on going, right?
Aye.
She walked up, and a couple of days later, then she couldn't walk. I mean, you know.
That was like him.
And what it was, you know, when you have any sort of trouble, you bang their head and bang all the body, you know what I mean? Because obviously you can get aneurysms and all that. Like I said, that aneurysm, it's a serious thing. It's like when I had anxiety, I had severe chest pain. Technically, it could be a panic attack. But
I used to suffer them.
Yeah, but the panic attacks can cause heart attacks.
Oh God.
I had it for 4 days.
They told me to breathe in a paper bag. This was years ago, but
No, last night I had severe chest pain, but I think I had a dodgy curry the night before. But I think if I was like, when I was growing up, in my community, we eat a lot of chili. So now, if I eat some, you know what I mean, chili, like, you know, when I eat it properly, you know what I mean? And it's burning my mouth, fire's coming out of my ears and mouth.
I can't eat salsa, it does things to me.
So I had to have a glass of milk, but I had a whole, like a ghost chili. And, you know, they go over about 1.5 million degrees. So what happened is I tried to have a little bit, and I tried to have another bit, and the whole thing fell in my mouth. What am I supposed to do then? So I started chewing it on it. I thought, because it wasn't that hot at first, yeah. But the seed,
and it was nippy.
And the seed is the hottest part. Yeah. The stem and the seed, and oh my God, bloody hell.
You couldn't breathe.
And I was like, shouting at my wife. I said, like, Shahida, I said, Kadeem, my middle son, my 11, I was like, give me some milk now, I'm dying. Like literally. So as soon as I had that milk, it's all like, you know what I mean?
Aye.
He does the cold glass of milk. He does the. I think it's one of the best remedies for it. If you have anything really spicy, you know what I mean?
Aye.
But my gut can't take that kind of. But I just had I went out with my mates for pool night a couple of nights ago, and I had a curry, and bang! Honestly, I must have raised my blood pressure for a start, and then obviously I told him to make it really spicy because I didn't want to look like a wimp because I like spicy. But then
not too much.
Because that night I had severe chest pain, and the next day and the next morning I had loads of gunshots. I went for a bit of a run. Because obviously because when you're exercising, it expands your blood vessels.
Aye.
So basically,
opens your chest, your airways up.
Yeah. Airways and your arteries as well. You know what I mean? When you're exercising, you're pumping more blood, so you're pushing and it clears that. You know what I mean? Because that's what happens. You know, aneurysms and all that. And
well, we go to boxing. Me and my son go to boxing. I said, learn how to box because when I'm no longer around, you can handle yourself then.
It's not just that. It's what you're going to understand is it's not just all about handling. It's about enjoying himself. You know what I mean, as long as he enjoys it, he loves it.
Oh, I loved it. Friday, wasn't it? Yesterday.
Yeah. Never get in a fight with anyone because you don't get it. In my job, you know what? If somebody found out if I antagonise someone, they'd take my license off me. Yeah, somebody'd hit me and I'd hit him back in self-defense. I'd lose my
and it's your livelihood.
No, because one time I had this group of lads and they were so drunk, they were off the face. They got in my car. So I said, "You guys are too drunk. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to take you anywhere." So one of them got hold of my shoulder. And at that point, I thought, "All right, I better get it." I got my phone, got my keys. Like get Sharpie. She goes, "Where are you going? You're taking us?" I said, "No, I'm not." So they started chasing me around the car. Funny, true story, by the way. Yeah?
And they were drunk.
Yeah. So I'd run off about 50, 60 feet away. Yeah. They said, "Come back here," and they're calling me all sorts. I said, "Right, I'm calling the police now." So I'm on the phone, and then next thing you know, I won't really call the police. I'm just trying to scare them off. Yeah. Next thing you hear sirens driving up, and then you see these lads all bolting. They can barely run.
And they were probably coming for somebody else, and it was a pretend. It's weird.
When they're running.
Aye.
I don't know if you remember that sketch with the Batman.
That's weird. That how you were pretending to phone the police and then sirens come looking for somebody.
No, because this happened early. I think.
I know, but the police would be looking for somebody else.
I think it was last November. I was in near Zcar's office. You know, Kebabish in Aston Road. Anyway, a lot of the cars park up there. You know that near the Polish shop, yeah. Anyway, I think it's a Polish or Kurdish shop or something like that. There's a shop and he sells knockoff cigarettes and God knows what else. Yeah. Anyway, so
just before the roundabout.
No, actually on Aston Road. You know, before Honeywell Lane. Just before Honeywell Lane, there's like some couple of takeaways and then a post office.
You're talking about before King Street roundabout?
After on Aston Road, on Aston Road. You know where? What's it called? I forgot what that street's called. Man.
Oldham Police Station. Back?
No. Actually on Aston Road. Aston Road, you know, before Honeywell Lane, where the post office is. Taxcom and Cake Box and all that. You know Aston Road at all?
I know after King Street roundabout.
Yeah. Well, after King Street, you go down Aston Road. Yeah?
Where they're building the new mosque?
No. It's the other side. That's Manchester Road. You're talking about Aston Road. Aston Road's like the big road that goes to Aston. Right, okay. Anyway, I'm behind a minibus, right? Anyway, so at this point, right, the minibus suddenly jolts, right, and mounts the pavement. I think, what the hell's going on? Someone's coming up, someone's speeding. So, you know what? I've got punters in the back of my car. I'm thinking, you know what? Someone's coming here. If he's going to get hit, right, and he's moving out there, I better do the same thing. Luckily, there was enough space, so I pulled in. Some guys was absolutely with an Audi or Golf or something. I think it was an Audi or Golf or some sports car. Yeah. I was just thrashing it 60, 70 miles an hour. At that point, like, I'm thinking, right.
You've got to think quick.
I'm saying to my customers, and in my subconsciously, I'm saying it out loud as well.
Aye.
Saying, where's a police officer when you need one? Then suddenly, out that side street, police officer comes up, chasing him. So, but you see that all the time. I remember like a couple of days ago, I just seen a police car just down Middleton Road, just one car chasing him, another one coming out of nowhere, and they're all chasing him. You know what I mean?
But do you know what? It's weird, right? Because you were pretending to phone the police, and it's a good job the police were out looking for somebody that day, and they got rid of the drunkards.
No, to be honest with you, I won't care if they vandalise my car, because I'm there. There's only one me. If they stab me and finish me off, what good am I to my kids? Yeah?
A car's just a bit of a bit of metal.
No, it's materialistic, because I always use this analogy. There was a young man I picked up Asian lad earlier tonight, and I used this analogy, but it's a true story. He's not really my friend, it's like an acquaintance, right?
Aye.
And this man, he's, you know, with respect, he's probably middle-aged, around your age, right?
Aye.
And anyway, so he's my elder. So
did you know I was middle-aged before I told you?
No, to be honest, I don't look at anything like that, because you said you're 54, so that's what I mean. I'm saying middle age, but you know, it's not really middle age. You're a young person, you know, you're not that much older than me. You know what I mean? So, with respect, I don't mean that in this derogatory fashion. You know what I mean? I think technically I'm middle age. You know what I mean? At that age, between 40 to 60, that's like middle age. I mean, 40 is like the new 20, and 50 is the new 30. I mean, that's what I say. So you're gonna put your own spin on it. You know what I mean? Don't let anyone. You know what I mean? I'm not, like I said, I don't mean it in a negative fashion. Anyway.
But at least I don't look like some 54-year-olds. I look older than me.
No. Where you gonna stand? I mean, with your 42, people didn't tell you. You know what I mean? A lot of people think we're a lot younger, but it's your attitude and mentality, outlook of life. You know, if you've got crappy attitude and negative attitude of life, guess what? People are gonna think you're old. You know what I mean? If you know, I'm very spontaneous. I'll have a good laugh and a joke. So when people tell me people think I'm in my late 20s.
Well, I'm 54, right?
You're lad's age, right? And they never believe me when I say 42. And I said, look, I look after myself. I exercise, eat. Like that's why, you know, I'm not. Most of my mates, more than half of them smoke, right? And so like, they've broke out everywhere. The white hairs and God knows beards, and you know what I mean. Some of them, you know, they look a lot older than what they look. You know what I mean? You know,
well, I'm 54, and I see people and they look older than me. They look dead old, and they're dead out of shape.
It's not just about what you eat. It's your mindset. Because what keeps you young is your outlook on life. So if you're optimist and you're happy and happy-go-lucky, and you're a bubbly person
and plenty of rest, but she keeps me awake every night of the week to 4 in the morning. So she will age me.
You know what it is?
The lack of sleep.
No, not technically, because it's like when somebody dies, you're thinking about it too much. Try not to think of switch off. Earplugs, even ear defenders if you need to.
I've got earphones.
But if you do use any sort of earplugs, it damages your hearing, by the way, if you put it on. But put it on low volume.
That's what I do.
Or if it's just one of them, like, you know, the ones ear defenders.
Oh, it's just the ones you put in your ear, but I put the sleep music down to a low volume.
You don't have to put the music, just put it over your head. Right? And I know my ears just start like condensation builds up, so I don't. Well, I've got a couple of pairs, but.
But if you put the sleep music, the sound sleeps right now is on low, it won't damage your ears.
Yeah, obviously that's what I meant. But I mean, try that out if that works.
I do that.
If that doesn't work, right? I don't know if do you own the house or the flat, or is it council or first choice homes?
First choice homes.
And you got no choice in the matter. But I was saying, if you owned it, you could have soundproofed it all. You know what I mean? Bulletproofed it, soundproofed it, but. That's the next best thing. The thing is,
you would only have to soundproof the floor, I think, if it's somebody below you. You don't necessarily have to do all the walls.
No. What I'm saying, like this, I'm just putting ideas in your head, because obviously.
But I'm getting first choice homes today, right, to put something under the floor. I'm getting them to do that.
So I mean, if they'll do it, then you know what I mean. If you don't ask, you don't get. You'll know yourself. You know what I mean. If you don't ask, you won't get anything. Like I hear horror stories. People, if your place is in good Connect, you're lucky because. I know horror stories, private landlords, the first choice homes. Guess what? In Oldham, damn.
I know. I was in it. I left Hawks Estate.
Mould, right, and people were getting ill.
Well, that's why I left there as well.
One of my mates, he had a house with private landlord, and he would not spend in the house. He had damp and all that. And when you've got kids and all that, you don't want touching that, because that sort of fungus.
Well, see the flat I left, 2 Cullew Road. I wasn't just getting bullied by the neighbours and antisocial behaviour, loud music, keeping me awake every day of the week, right, banging gates, playing music, banging on the walls.
Well, so is that the one in Oldham or Glasgow?
That was in Hawks Estate. I left 2 Cullew Road because it was damp as well. But I'm in upstairs here, so you don't get dampness upstairs.
Yeah,
so
try that out. If that doesn't work, you know what I mean. If it gets that bad, then move, find someone else, maybe. You know what I mean. But the thing is, if you're settled and you're happy, you know.
Oh, I've
Sounds like a-
reported her to the house and they're
Yeah.
going to have a word with her.
Is that old saying? If you can't beat him,
Listen, they're putting
if there's an old saying, if you can't beat him, join him. Maybe go in there and obviously have a drink with him. Fucking.
I know, but they're
Join the
putting
club.
they're putting sound equipment in to catch her below me.
Ah,
They're putting it
Right,
in to
okay.
catch her below me.
yeah. So at least they're trying. You know what I mean,
Aye.
they are trying to do something. So, but what's shocking is she's 63 years old, slam music. So I don't know. She must be like from the
think
drum
she's
and bass.
cuckoo.
She must have been drum and bass or something. Yeah. What sort of
Aye.
music did you play?
Oh, she'll be up. She'll be in just now,
Yeah.
and
Is it
she'll
her own
bang.
music or did she play the radio?
She
like,
plays All I Have to Dream.
Oh.
Dream, and when I need you, and all
bless
that.
her. Well, you know what, to be honest, if I listen to that and it's loud, I'll probably like put earplugs in. It'll probably send me to sleep anyway. It's like lullabies,
Sending me to
anyway.
sleep.
I'll be honest with you, just put some earplugs in, let her listen to it. And just say,
Don't
"All
get
right,
me
cool."
wrong, I like Dean Martin.
Maybe even reverse psychology. Say, all right, that's not loud enough. That turn it up. And they might get the hint.
And then they might stop annoying you.
Yeah. No, you get sometimes reverse psychology works, but it don't always work. But at least you got a sense of humour. You might even
Aye.
get a laugh out of them. I
Aye.
said, you know what? Your music's not laughing. It's not loud enough. Yeah, turn it up. Like that old saying goes,
Aye.
you can't beat him, join him. You know what I mean? Well,
I
sometimes,
just wish she would play Elvis or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I like Elvis.
well, if you don't ask, you don't get.
I know.
Like I said, you can't say, oh, you've been horrible to me. Say, look, do you like Elvis? Can
See,
you play
one
some
minute
Elvis?
she'll be nice to you and then she'll start, when you go to your bed, she'll start
Well,
banging
I'll be
on
honest
you.
with you. You know, people get 60 plus. Sometimes
Aye.
they suffer from dementia and
Aye, they
Alzheimer's.
go
Maybe
mental.
I don't know. You
She
know what I mean?
bangs on the walls and all that.
Yeah.
And throws
So-
objects on the floor.
The thing is, the best thing to do is not be judgmental because you don't know what her history is, what's happened to her. She might have had a bad life. And
She's got COPD.
yeah. So what some people lash out when they've got illnesses or cancer
Aye.
or whatever. Sometimes people lash out when they lost a loved one.
Aye.
Yeah. So best thing to do is don't.
So in other words-
I'd take time out. If you got some time out, go and sit with her and talk to her.
So in other words, what you're saying is some people know they're sick and they're ready to go, so they might annoy you before they go. Is that what you mean?
No, I don't say that. I wouldn't look into that anything with it. Best thing to do is talk to your
Oh,
neighbour.
see what you just said there? See to Curlew Road where I was leaving.
Mm,
See my neighbour who was through the wall to me,
mm,
and she was always playing her music, annoying me.
mm.
Her daughter's 31, her daughter stays with her. The woman's in her 50s. I just been told she's got cancer.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
She was
So
playing my
sometimes
music.
this is what you got to understand. You see, so sometimes it's better the devil, because obviously you think it's bad, but maybe she's in a worse place than which you are, and that's what's
Aye.
that's what's keeping her going. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But sometimes you might just take time out instead of like trying to burn bridges. And I'm not saying you are, because
Aye.
as far as I know, you're lovely, from what I can tell. And sometimes some people are not approachable and they're antisocial.
Aye.
Sometimes
Aye.
maybe reach out, just try and build a relationship with them, friendship or something, and see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Oh, I spoke to them.
Mm.
They were playing music, and then I said, this was in 2014. I said, I've just
Yeah, if
moved
they've
in.
got time, go around to us. Invite them over to yours. I could see and build some
Aye.
bridges and see
Well,
how it
they
goes.
shouted at me. They said, if you don't like it here, go back home to Scotland, right? And I went, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then that was in 2014 when I just came here. And then, see, in 2020,
Mm. Mm.
I saw the woman, and she says to me, hello, and I went,
Mm.
and I said to myself, I said to her, hello, and I thought to myself, why is she talking to me if she told me to go back home? And then I went like that to her, I'm sorry for shouting back at you. You know what she says to me? Oh, it's all forgotten. Now I've just moved away from Two Curlew Road. That woman's got cancer, I just heard, and I went, oh my God, I feel so bad for her now.
I know. Sometimes you have to speak to them. You got to reach out to people. See, people when people people deal with like I said with the personal. Sometimes what it is sometimes stuff like that. It's really personal. They can't talk about it. It's like this was a couple of months ago actually. I had a picture. No, you're a young woman actually, and she was our age, in middle age, right? And her lad is 27. His best mate was 25. The best mate, guess what? My mate, the taxi driver, I've known him for 40 years.
Aye.
He's got a good job, works for government and all that, yeah. But it's me and him talk about anything. Well, guess what? Them two, they talk about things, but his best mate, something had happened, and he committed suicide. One day, he just decided, right, he's gonna hang himself on the.
Oh, you remind me of some. I found Bernie Harris in Glasgow had hung.
I put a bag away there, but
you just reminded me of something. See, when I was in Rockhill,
as a teenager, growing up, one of the lads who was in the year above me in school, he hung himself because his girlfriend died. And I think okay, and I've heard of other stories like that. Because one story a couple of years ago was this young man, his girlfriend died. I don't know how she died, in an accident or something like that, and he couldn't cope with it because he was his best friend. He thought he's going to be with her for the rest of his life. They're like soulmates, and he couldn't deal with it. He didn't want to be with anyone else. Yeah, he loved her that much.
You just brought something back to me. There's a place in Glasgow and it's called Rockhill, right? Now I was in Bernie Harris. It was the bear. He was in his 50s. I was only 20 at the time. He was in his 50s and he used to talk to all the lassies and go. And he had a wife, me, and he was about late 50s. And I was in Bernie Harris. That was his name. Stayed in Rockhill Street, Rockhill in Glasgow, right? 287. Different people there now. And Bernie said to me and my pal Sandra, Sandra, he's coming in, and I went, aye, alright. And the bear was there and he kept trying to track me up. And he said something to Bernie Harris. And then I went round 2 weeks later and the door was opened and Bernie Harris was hanging. He hung himself in the flat, and I went, oh my God, you just brought it all back to me there. I went, oh my God.
People do this crazy stuff, so that's why we've got to reach out to you. Especially now with people struggling with bills and stuff like that. So you don't know what. Best thing to do is not judgmental, obviously. Don't take anything to heart or personally, you know what I mean? Like I said, I always have arguments with my brother and sister, but I never next day, I forget. Sometimes my kid brother, he'll hold grudges, so I always when he does say something like that, something pathetic and, you know what I mean? Immature and childish, because that's what it is if you hold grudges, right? So I said to him, we had an argument, guess what? I've already forgotten about it. After we've had it, but I forgot 5 minutes later, I would have forgot about it, yeah? Right. Straight after that, I've drawn a line on it. We've had an argument. You've said your piece, I've said my piece. We're at peace there, yeah? There's no like that way or in the middle. That's it. That's where you are, We agree to disagree. We move on, yeah? So
well, people here
I was ripping to him when I said to him, you need to grow up. And to this day, he has grown up, but then, oh my God, it's hard work. He just started a job about a few months ago, and he was doing really well, a good couple of months. And then I told him, just keep your head down. If somebody's whining you, don't ignore it. Yeah, rise above it. Don't lose your shit. Guess what? He lost his shit. He waited and told one of the lads he was working with he was doing all the graft, right? And this lad wasn't pulling his load. He wasn't doing any work at all, standing around. Right? So obviously, he lost he threatened that lad, and then he rung the supervisor and said, this lad's not going to. And I said to him, where do you think you're going to get by saying to him that, threatening someone, and then telling your immediate supervisor or shift manager or team leader, right? Like, this person's on and I'm going to thump him, you're going to work with him. What do you think he's going to think? He's going to think you're violent, yeah? You're not a nice person. So what they're going to do, they're not going to want you, they're going to fire you. Or, you know what I mean? I said, you've got yourself, now he's in and out job for the next couple of months. I said, you've shafted yourself big time, yeah? You're older and wiser, and you know not to scrap, right? So whether you raise your fist or not, your mouth can do the same kind of damage. If you say the wrong things, because some things you say with your mouth, you cannot take back. If you look into the English language, most is derived from Latin. Guess what? It's all witchcraft, believe it or not. Honestly, when they say like morning, morning, yeah, weekend, week, yeah, and yeah. So you're weak, and the end of the week you earn nothing, yeah. All these they're the spells. Like music and all, it makes us happy and all that. Well, basically, there's different frequencies, and humanity we all.
It's the devils.
Yeah. So obviously, I research all this kind of stuff. You see, people say when I talk to them, like some people think I'm crazy, but the people that are real like myself, they think.
But these are the people that know nothing.
Yeah. No. Well, brain dead, aren't they? They don't, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, ultimately, we're all responsible for our actions, right? We're going to have to answer for our sins sooner or later, right? And, even if you don't believe in God, if there isn't a God, right? For example. But obviously, I hope there is for all our sakes, right? Because you have to believe, you know what I mean?
Well, I believe in him because I was baptised Catholic.
But what you're going to understand is, right, sooner or later we're all going to answer for our sins, right?
Aye.
So, you know, we're all going to make a maker.
We're
So it
all
doesn't
gonna-
when I said this, like, you know, when I said that this guy is older than me, he's got his own shop. Well, did I tell you that he showed me, he showed me a picture one time, yeah? Of his drive, a blurred picture of his drive. And he's got like a big mansion, big 8-house farmhouse, and God knows, yeah? Couple of £1 million, right? Anyway, so, you know, he was really arrogant, you know what I mean? So he was saying that, and he used to speak to me like, belittle me, and speak to me like garbage. And the history is, he used to wind my dad up. My dad was a good few years older than him, right? So, anyway, so obviously I'm a very intelligent lad, so I put him that. He's got punters in there. I'm saying like, you're saying that I'm being disrespectful. I said, yeah, how are you being respectful when you're saying all this horrible stuff for no reason? I've just come in here. All I'm guilty of is being my dad's son. That's why you've got an issue with me. Because I've not said anything bad to you. If you don't say belittle me and say anything bad to me...
Money doesn't make you better.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is, if you don't try to belittle me and make me look small or humiliate me for no reason, right?
Makes him feel big.
What reason have I got to say anything to you? I've come here to go about my business. If I want to get my gas and electric or buy chocolate or whatever, that's my business, right? I'm coming here doing what I'm doing, right? I'm being politeful and respectful because I'm going saying, yeah.
And you're giving him your money?
No, because I'm a nice lad. I say please. I always say please because it's a polite thing to do. That's the way, you know, it comes across and how you brought up. So when somebody does something for me, I say thank you. Right, and you know it shows you've been brought up the right way because you know. That's
and he was still looking down on you.
No, because he said all these things. So I said to him like, it's funny that you were doing that, but now I'm going to tell you this is what I feel. You're arrogant, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? I didn't swear, no profanity, but I just, you know what I mean? I'm one of them. I'm just there for juggling. Yeah? So I just told him, yeah, this is what you're behaving like. Right, all these people are witnesses to where you're behaving. Right, you need to take a good hard look at yourself. Because as I said to you, right, yeah, no, like I said before, I said to him like, okay, when you die, it doesn't matter how much money, how much wealth, how many properties you got, or what have you got now. When you're 6 feet under, guess what, mate?
That's not good to you.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, when you're 6 feet and I'm 6 feet, you're gonna be in the same ground as me.
Aye.
You're not gonna be in a gold-plated tombstone with jewels and rubies and diamonds and all that. That's not gonna bring you back from the dead. You're going to be 6 feet under me. So start being a bit humble. No, because at the end of the day...
You're dead, you're not good to you.
No, because he's so arrogant. He thinks because he's got a shop and he's making X amount, he thinks he's better than the rest of them. I said to him, right, how do you know I don't have more money than you?
We came here without money.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Money was just all something that
I'm wealthy, right? I'm from wealthy background, right? Because my family's got businesses, but I'm one of them. I'm very humble, you see. So I don't think I'm better than anyone else. Everything my family bought, everything I done, I worked hard for it. Blood, sweat, and guts. I need to kill myself. You know what I mean? Long hours. So I know I've done all kinds of jobs, yeah. So that's why I'm so humble because I know it doesn't matter if you're,
rich or poor.
You're a binman or you're a window toilet cleaner or a nurse. Or a taxi driver, or
I've been there.
You could be a manager, or CEO of a company, or owner of a business, right? It doesn't give you the right to belittle another human being, make him look like the turd, right? Because at the end of the day, you're a human being, and he's a human being. He deserves respect for the job he does. You deserve respect for your job. But at the end of the day, you cross that line when you try to belittle another human being. Just because you're more wealthy than all that's telling everyone else is you're a snob and you're arrogant. That's it. And you're
see, when I was 16, I was still living with my auntie and uncle that brought me up, right? My dad's brother. But I wanted to make my own way in the world. So I had a wee flat when I was 18. Then something happened. I was paying all my bills, paying my rent, and never had enough money to pay this bill. So I fell a wee bit behind. It ended up, I lost my flat and I was sleeping outside in the streets. I was sleeping on the streets, I was homeless. But I picked myself up again. I went for help, and then I was in a hostel in Glasgow. Jean Morris House, it might not be there now, Bath Street, Glasgow. So I was in a hostel and I had to wait.
Do you ever go back to see like your old places?
Aye.
And do you see some of the places?
It's all changed now,
It's all
Glasgow.
changed everywhere now. Like,
Aye, it's changed.
I know it's like a bit like London now because obviously Edinburgh is just constantly growing, building, and Glasgow is worse than London now. The last time I went, last year, and I'm not joking, it's got more skyscrapers than London.
I know.
And
I know it's building new all the time.
Like, like...
It looks like America a bit.
Central London, yeah, New York. Central London, you've got like skyscrapers, but then, you get smaller, you know what I mean? Smaller. But Glasgow in the central, it's just like skyscraper every single street. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
It's like Americanized.
I've not been for like about a good 5-6 years. And then obviously they're building more skyscrapers. And it's like they're all having competition who can have the biggest.
You've got Buchanan Galleries.
It's Doolally now. Why do you need so many buildings?
Have you seen Buchanan Galleries, Buchanan Street, underground?
No. Have
you seen Argyle Street? Have you seen Sauchiehall Street?
You know what? I probably have seen some of them, but...
City Centre, Central Station, the railway, Queen Street, George Square. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen some of it, but obviously...
George Square where the lines are?
Yeah. No, because what it is, they're rolling out the same thing everywhere. The bus lanes and bus gates and all
See
that.
George Square in Glasgow, the lines, it looks just like Trafalgar Square.
I think it's based on, a lot of it, they take, they use the same thing, the architecture, because obviously it's a British thing, innit? Might be the same architect that's done it, you see. Because what happens is, like, the same organisations build bridges. The government use the same couple of organisations, so they have the same, you can see the architecture and, how they built it, you know what I mean? Obviously the specialist companies, some companies might be better at, roundabouts, other ones would be better at, like, they're all different types of civil engineering, see.
Wait, did you go when you were in Glasgow? Were you at the city centre bit?
Yeah.
Like, where the casinos are, Sauchiehall Street, Bath Street. Then you've got what do you call it?
It's bonkers now, isn't it? It's bonkers. Like I said, if you'd gone back 20 years ago, it was nothing like that. You know what I mean?
I know.
You might have had the one.
I do miss Glasgow, but it's the memories there. It's when my mother and father died.
No, but you shouldn't be afraid of your past. You know what I mean? You should embrace your past, because obviously
I'll go back home one day.
It's your heritage as well, isn't it? So I appreciate, you know what I mean, but you should never be afraid to go back and see people, and the olive branch, like the old saying, olive branch. Not everyone's bad. People move on. People have probably moved on. All the idiots probably moved on. You know what I mean? Because eventually, what happens is, right.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of good friends in Glasgow, and they say to the ones that were bullying me, leave her alone. You know what I mean?
No, what you're going to stand is there's good and bad, but not everyone's bad. The vast majority are lovely.
Well,
I think it's just sometimes snobbery gets in the way, arrogance gets in the way as well. And sometimes maybe
a bit of money and they think they're better than everybody.
People use all kinds of things, whether it's your accent or race, or your race, or your background, or your caste. There's all kinds of things. There's racism in every community, obviously Caucasian community, in the Asian community, the black community. Like in the Caucasian community, obviously got like Geordies, Scousers, Scottish and Irish. There's racism.
Well, when I was a kid,
travelling in the Asian community, right? And in the Asian and the black community, even though there's racism there, because there's people like my complexion, people lighter complexion, people like really dark complexions, right? And they get bullied. You know what I mean? You don't think it happens. You know what I mean?
Well, do you know something? I'm born and bred in Glasgow, right? I can't help being born in Glasgow, but I had white people bullying me in parts of Glasgow. Not where my friends were or where I lived, but I had people bullying me, and I had people in Edinburgh went into Edinburgh for the day, and I was getting bullied.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, obviously, Glasgow does have a bit of a name, right? Because obviously, what I mean, bare knuckle fighting and all that kind of stuff, yeah. So obviously, and I've got mates from Scotland, right? Where's he from? He's from Aberdeen, right? And obviously, I'll go over Scotland. I can more than handle myself, right? I don't like strapping, because I'm more of a lover. But I can more than hold my own against anyone, yeah. A group of us. I've got a mixed martial arts background, so I'm with one of my mates, and he's a big lad as well, like himself, right? So he goes, I'm dying for a piss. So I goes, right, all right, there's a parking spot. Go in there. I'll come in with you. He goes, no, I'm not going in there. I'll get blasted. I goes, listen, right, I'm going in with you. If anyone says anything, I'm going to say, right, I'm going to use my Scottish accent. I'm going to say, aye, what's your fucking problem now, mate? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll be like, fucking, you know what I mean? I'll go sick of them, you know what I mean? Ain't shit, so, you know what I mean? I won't tolerate it, you know what I mean? If they want to scrap, I'll have a scrap with them. You know
what's your problem?
No, because that's like having a scrap. No, I don't, if I have to have a scrap, I'll have a scrap. That's what you do. You protect your friends and family. I said to him, look, just go in there. I'm going to go in with you. You're going to have a fucking piss. If I have to stand outside the cubicle, I'll fucking stand outside there. Anyone wants a piece of me, they can have a piece of me. I don't need any sort of weapon to, you know what I mean, to hurt someone, because I'm used to use the hands and my feet. You know what I mean?
Because weapons is for cowards.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously it does happen, you know what I mean?
Aye, in
Obviously.
Glasgow.
So I mean, that's why you're scared of, you see, because obviously Glasgow's that reputation.
Aye.
With
See, we say Glasgow.
no, back in the, obviously you know yourself, that's back in the days.
because I'm born there.
Where did the glass pint and all that come from? It started off in Glasgow.
Aye.
You know what I mean? I mean, obviously it's that Celtic roots, you know what I mean? The Irish and Scots and all that, but Glasgow, that's where it started all off, you know what I mean? But that's why people are scared of, you know what I mean? Because obviously, you know what I mean? People like a scrap, you know what I mean? So my mate was absolutely petrified. But I said to him, right, you're in Aberdeen, and you're going down. He always tells me, like, he goes and winds up all the, you know what I mean?
We need to watch in Aberdeen because there's a lot of hard ones in Aberdeen.
Yeah. No, but he goes back, I mean, but the thing is, my mate is not much, I mean, and I don't like scrapping, but I can hold my own. But yeah, I said, why are you so petrified? I don't know what's the worst he's going to do. You might get a pint glass in you, or somebody might try and thump me, but you've got me with me and I can scrap. You know what I mean? I'm not like somebody who just stands around. If somebody wants to scrap, they'll get scrapped. They'll get a belted one, you know what I mean? Or clock one, yeah? I'm not afraid to clock somebody one back, you know what I mean? Yeah, they want to glass me, they can fucking try, but I'll fucking, you know what I mean? I'll fucking have them, you know what I mean? So, like I said, he's just petrified. I said, all right, forget it then, right? So I carried on driving, you know what I mean? And this is not me playing the hard man. I just want to do the right thing by him. I said, you know what, if you need to go, you need to go. So anyway, we ended up finding a takeaway. So we went to the takeaway. I said, right, I've got a toilet, mate. Can you use the toilet? So he went and used the toilet. But it's the principle of the thing. Why go half a mile down the road just to avoid a pub? I go everywhere and I don't give a shit, you know what I mean? If I need a fucking piss, I'm pardon my French, but I'll go in there and have a piss. Don't matter, you know, because obviously you got they're all little cliques and gangs everywhere, right? So every club of bar, it doesn't matter where you go, Oldham or Glasgow, you've got your own little clique, right? Nobody's going to give a shit about you as long as you're not eyeing them up or eyeing their bird up or whatever, yeah? You just go in, you have a look around and you ask them, right? You go to the bar and you say, right, mate, can I use your toilet if you don't mind? And they say, all right, you go and use the toilet. If they say no, you don't use the toilet, you know what I mean? But you always ask. You don't assume you can just go in and have a piss in there, yeah? You go to the barman and say, right, okay, I have a piss. Because when you say that, you know, the barman says you can't have a piss in there. Then that's giving you the wink that, all right, this is probably a bit of a rough place. You don't want to go and have a piss in there because somebody might have a scrap with you, you know what I mean? Right? But that's a telltale sign, but it's never stopped me from it. I've never, nowhere wherever I've gone, all over the country, the barman said, right, you can't go and have a piss. Because I've gone to the barman, I said to politely, can I go and have a piss, mate? I don't mind, but can I go and take a leak, right? But, you know what I mean? So I say it in a polite way, yeah.
I kind of go to Glasgow on my birthday because I was born the 20th of April. My son was born the 5th of April.
You can't be afraid to go and do all the things and all. Like, when I say this, right? Have you watched the movie The Bucket List?
But I might have seen a bit, I don't know.
The Morgan Freeman, when he goes and does all the things. Yeah, so what's that telling you? What are you going to stand? Everyone needs to be doing the bucket list right now because we had 2 years of COVID when we were trapped like caged animals, like a cat or a dog. So you know, like your cat, if you've got a cat or a dog, or somebody's been incarcerated, you in 6x9 or whatever, yeah, that's not comfortable, right? So that's what we were all like. What's it telling you? To engage life, live life to the fullest, do all the amazing things you can, yeah. Push yourself as far as possible. Go and see all the people you love, because you know the people, your family, and not
just, like I said,
your family are not just your blood relations, your friends as well, the people that love you. You know, when you're rock bottom, or when you need someone to speak to, yeah. So like, you might have a mate, you might just call her, you know, she's your friend, and she might be 20, 30, you might just call her mum or auntie or something out of respect. You know what I mean? So like, you know, like we all do that, but you know, some people are afraid to talk about. But
see, I've got friends. I've got friends. I've got friends, and I've got cousins. So I class them as brothers and sisters.
You know what it is? You've got the right mentality, and like I said, I've got the same mentality myself. It goes through with it. I don't know. Unless somebody physically tries to assault me, right? I've got no reason to have a fight with them or argue with someone. They can call me what they like. And at the end of the day, it's not going to make any difference because I'm still going to be the happy person I am. So, you know, this is what you're going to do. You're going to rise above all the hate and all
well,
the
do you know something? I just moved out to Curlew Road on the 21st of June and moved into this flat here, right? But for 5 years I suffered. Now listen to this. This. It was a guy called Barnes, right? He was harassing me for 5 years, right? Now I just moved out on the 21st of June, but 2 weeks ago I was on the tram coming out of the View in Manchester, the cinema, right? And I said, we stay on this tram, Andy. It'll stop at Victoria, but it's going to Oldham.
Because it's all steamed up in here.
Right. So anyway, who gets on at Victoria? My neighbour in Curlew Road that I just left, and he shouted.
She's telling you about what's happened. Yeah?
Aye, and he shouted to me.
Apologise, yeah?
No, he shouted to me, "You red face, cunt," and I just ignored it. And I says to Andy, "We just left there, and we've just moved in on the 20. We left there. It was 2 weeks ago, but we moved out in the 20. We moved out to Curlew Road on 21st of June, and moved into this flat."
Yeah?
Right, but he
Couple
says
of
to
weeks
me,
ago, yeah?
aye, 2 weeks ago. So he says to me, "You red face, cunt."
Oh, she's having a bit of a laugh with you.
Him, no, serious, right? Serious. They were picking on me. They were being serious. You red face, cunt.
What do you mean? Oh, they mean, oh, right. Oh,
Aye,
yeah,
harassing me
Oh,
on
right,
the
right.
underground,
Right.
and then saying he was saying to complete strangers, him and her. She, that Scottish bitch here, she just moved out to Curlew Road, and I just ignored it. I said, "Andrew, we live in Holt now. We don't need to go back to Holt's Estate, so just forget it." Right? But he was at me and saying William Wallace was a prick. I hate Scottish people and all that, because a woman in Glasgow, when I was working on the construction site, she called me assassin. That guy went, right, okay, whatever. Right? So I put up with it, and I said, "I'm just moving out here to get away from him, right? And now I'm in a worse place here. So it's worse." But
Sure, just tell him I don't want
I
any trouble,
forgive
just want
him.
him.
I forgive
But
him.
some of these ones that
I
work in
get
construction
put
are
through some
crazy.
shit like you're Scottish, cunt and all that, right? And I hate Scottish people because a woman in Glasgow, right, called me assassin, that because he's English and he said that. But I put up with so much crap, and I didn't want to keep thinking about it because it would just eat away.
So what happened?
But I forgive him. Now I moved out on the 21st. He caught me. He was telling people, "See her, another Scottish cunt.
Oh, I've got a
What
message.
the fucking doing in England?" But I just said to myself, well, that was 2 weeks ago. But I moved out to Holt's Estate on the 21st of June. And I says to Andrew, forget about him. At least now, when they were bullying us when we stayed there, at least we don't need to go back there now to face him. We're away from it now, right? But I said to myself, I just forgave him. And I might bump into him more because he only lives in Holt's Estate and I live here now, Furness Avenue, right? He might go by in the motor and shout, "You Scottish cunt." But I'm just not going to bother with it. I just forgive them.
But some of these workers can be annoying.
I
and
just
they-
forgive.
You know, some people like winding people up. That's what it is.
Aye.
Some bullies are just insecure, and some bullies just like winding people up.
That's
I
what
just forget it, you know.
So he's doing it to wind you up. I said,
I pretend that it's not. I'm not hearing it.
that's what some workers are like.
so I tell you what, you got stung something for it, because obviously if you're taking that and then you don't say you have to be it takes a stronger person to rise above that. But myself, after about the 10th time, a few times, I probably would have turned around and said, "Look, so what?" I would have turned around and said, "So what?"
I just cut off. I just pretend. I hear it, but I pretend. I just pretend it's nothing. Nothing's been said.
No, I'll be honest with you. Nobody would fault you if you turned around and said, "You're a bully," and you said, "You're the worst kind of bully," because you know what? You can't even bully another man. You're bullying a woman.
Aye.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? To be fair with you, if I was there, I would have said something like that. But at the end of the day, if he's an idiot, he might have a scrap with me. So you're doing the right thing anyway, rising above it. You know what I mean? That's the
I
best
just
thing to do.
forget it.
Yeah, because once you acknowledge him, that's what they want you to do, bullies,
Right.
people like that.